So with the look of Dabo's coat and his haircut, I was considering who is at fault here. I didn't know if Dabo was incredibly hard to groom, and that's why his groomer had no choice to give him this cut, or if he, uh, maybe the groomer was very busy. I want to be kind. So anyway, I decided, even though he wasn't really scheduled, he was only scheduled for boarding, not board and groom. I really couldn't send him home like this. It's just against my inner core. So his mom did let me know that he was a little sensitive on his ears, and so that's what I'm doing here is I'm just combing out the hair, not plucking. And he was a little bit pulley. I don't know if he's got some past trauma. I know he has had a couple of pretty yucky ear infections. So hopefully the groomer does not put water or pluck the hair. So all I'm doing here, which, I'm kind of just doing slowly, methodically, gently with lots of encouragement. I'm getting all the hair straight from where it's growing and then straight out the canal. So I'm just trying to work gentle, gentle, gentle. I'm not ripping all the hair out. I'm using the little flea comb to comb it, and then I'm going to cut the major, everything that I got out of there. There's no reason to work those mats out because it's just me trying to decide how much more I need to get out. We ended up getting his ears nice and clean. I went ahead and put 2 or 3 different air flushes in his ear at the time, and I did follow that one side that seemed that he was a little bit more concerned about, the side I'm working on the most here, with a final flush of the purple stuff that I use. I don't use the purple stuff on every dog every time. It stains, so I use it whenever anything is indicated. So he was really indicating on this ear. He really didn't like it. I did find a burr in the ear, so it may just be that it was just a little tender skin in there from having a little matted burr inside. Nothing more, but anyway, he's all taken care of now. I just found a little owie on his back right here, so I put a little Murphy's oil. I know that sounds kind of crazy on that spot. It really helps release and break up anything gross, and it's a non-petroleum cleaner. A little bit more mild than the Dawn. You see, I do use the Dawn when needed, but I found that little owie on his back, and so I just treated it with that, see if it'll come off in the wash, and in the bath, and kind of reveal what's going on underneath. Using that for his ear. You can get that brand on Amazon. When you have to do hard things with your children or dogs, you've got to build trust and a bond. And you can't always do everything nice. Getting that burr and the stuff out of his ear needed to happen, but I didn't have to be ugly or mean about it. And building trust where they know that what you're doing for them is for their good takes a kind heart, and they can tell, they know. And so sometimes after we've done something kind of hard like that, I'll stop and give a little love break, just some reassurance, that I'm for his good. So his hair was so almost starting to cord that I went ahead and went straight to Chris Christensen Moisture Repair to really try to break up those curls, because his curly hair had, you know, it felt like it had gel in it. It was that crispy. Every one of those individual curls wasn't soft. It was really gathered together. So I was really trying to put a lot of moisture into his hair. So I used, mixing up some conditioner there. I have to mix up that conditioner because it's so thick, so that we can really condition. And his skin was so dry. Some places, some grooming places charge extra for conditioner, which I think is just, you know, well, and you know, they'll just do just a shampoo, you know, a cleansing shampoo, not even a conditioning one, and send them home all crusty like that. Because if you want them to feel soft, then you'll pay extra for the conditioner. Well, when I groom, I don't do that. I really assess the hair, and I decide what to use on them that day, and they just get what the hair needs. You know, I'm not going to charge you $2 extra to condition your dog, and they charge, you know, an extra 15 or 20 upcharge to get conditioner, and I just think that's silly. So I went to clip his nails, and I always kind of start with the first one, and I take just a tiny little slice just to see how close the quick is. And immediately, even with the tiniest little slice, I got his quick. So I'm inspecting there, realizing that there is no quick at all. I mean, nothing to cut off, because the quick has grown all the way to the very end of his nails, and his nails are too long. So this place probably upcharges to do the nails, which I think is ridiculous. You need your nails done, dog's nails done, more often than the groom. So I could understand separating out, getting a nail trim, you know, when it's not part of the groom, like getting an additional nail trim. But nail trim should always be part of the groom. 6 to 8 weeks is too long for nail trims. So if we want to have an extra nail trim, you know, every 3 weeks, if you're not doing them at home. If you're doing them at home, once a week is a great habit. You just drill just a little bit and every week, and it keeps them very healthy and very short. But if you can't do it yourself and you have to go out to a groomer, at least go every 3 weeks. So at least in between if you're on a 6-week schedule, or go twice if you're on an 8-week schedule between your grooms. So your dog can be comfortable, and it's more than just the click on the ground. You shouldn't hear them at all. What happens when they get that long is it changes the angles, how they stand on their feet. Think of a woman in high heels, or think of those reverse shoes, gravity shoes, how that does. That's not good for all the joints. It throws all the angles, and you won't notice in a 2-year-old dog, but when you have long nails on a dog chronically, then you end up having a lot more joint and pain when they're older. So save your dog from having pain in the last 5 years of his life, and just keep his nails short. So on his left eye, he has a little red. And so I put a little terramycin in it. I always inspect. I look for bright and white eyes. And if not, I put a little ointment in. I'll alert the owner so they can watch. If it was just a little irritation, let's say from maybe some shampoo got in his eyes, or maybe some hair got in his eyes from whatever, or anything, there's 1,000 things that could have a little eye irritation. So it may not be anything, but as a practice, I go ahead and put a little bit of terramycin and alert the owner, and then they can watch. And if it was just something small, a little irritation, allergy, something, the terramycin's going to handle it. Just even that one application, and no big deal. But at least the owners know, and they can watch. And if it gets worse, or it doesn't get white, clear and bright and white the next day or so, or next day, then maybe a vet appointment is needed, or they can buy their own terramycin and put it in every day for 7 days. But that's just routine. Should be routine. So his hair is still so dry that it dried really fast. And so I had to run a couple, again, this wasn't a regular scheduled groom. It was a groom that I had to do. So I was kind of fitting him in on the little times that I had. And he dried completely before I got back to him. I mean, and that means his hair was kind of starving for moisture. So I am putting in this Crown Royal Formula 3 spray on him. I've got in that bottle a mixture of the detangler and brushing spray. I like both, and so I'm going to comb that in his hair before I start blow drying to try to break up. You can see how tight those little mini cords have started. And so if I had had him on the schedule for a groom, I would have taken him straight from the tub to the high velocity blow dryer and blowed it out as straight as I could. But since I was fitting him in, he dried a lot more than I thought he would before I got to the high velocity blow dryer, to my big double K. So that's kind of a bummer. I still have him till the 5th, so I will be able to give him his regular go-home bath on that day. So he'll get completely wet, another condition, and another blowout. So hopefully he'll be even better then. So I'm just going to put a few more things in his ear just to combat whatever's going on in there. One is the enzyme that I just did, that Zymox, and then I think I'm pulling out that Triz and Keto, which is just kind of a miracle flush. Handles a lot of things. So I'm putting it in both sides just for good measure. Again, I don't hold back. Whatever they need, they get while they're here. And I know that brings profit margins down, but I just don't understand how you could see something and not fix it. So anyway, back to brushing out these cords. Since I'm going to have to drill his nails, pretty severely this time to get him to come back shorter, I'm giving him his little Nutricalm there. That's going to calm down. It'll help him within about 20 minutes. I gave it to him with some cooked rabbit that I had, which he's super delighted about. All I do is I don't have to cram it down their throat. Usually, I will if I have to, but if I just put the pill in with a bunch of different chunks of something delicious, handful of chunks of rabbit meat, he's so busy gulping up all the various little chunks that they doesn't notice that he swallowed a pill right along with it. That's the easiest way. So I'm going to put the snood on because it keeps shaking out the ear, the cotton balls out of his ears. That way it'll help him a little bit with the blow dry. So his hair was so dry, his ears. I really thought back and forth about cutting them off to German and starting over, but they were fluffy, and I hadn't really consulted with his mom. So since they weren't matted and had to be cut, I thought I'd go ahead and try to treat it with some more extra heavy conditioner. So I saturated his ears again, and I was going to use that heat dry, little small heat dryer to straighten the hair and sort of a deeper condition. We'll see if that doesn't help. So I didn't have too much hair to do anything very stylish, but I am going to go ahead and scissor up what I can, and even a face, feet, and hygiene is going to make a big difference on this, how this boy looks. He was drooling a little bit there. It has been pretty long for him, so with his pink skin, it would be super important that we kept no fuzzy face, kept the hair off his face so that all that skin around his mouth doesn't just sit there wet all the time. Anyway, I'm going to start putting some style on him. So he's not used to me scaling his teeth. This is probably the first time he's ever had it done. And so we didn't really get all his tartar off. Although I did text his mom, and she said she had had his teeth cleaned before. But tartar builds up so fast. You know, I don't doubt it, especially if he's not getting, really grizzly, chewy stuff to chew, or scrapey stuff, how fast that can build up. So anyway, we were able to get about a half job done, but I'd rather do 2 sessions with him, especially since I know I'm going to have him for a go-home bath, than try to, make it really stressful and get it all done. So better to do short and quick and frequent and less stressful. Anyway, he was a good boy, and we got a lot done.